This shows the different types of mounts and rails that can be fitted to a rifle, even a handgun. They come in different sizes. Usually 1 inch, as we see here and here, or 30mm to fit the tube size of the telescopic sight. This particular one is for high-powered rifles. It is a Picatinny mount that fits to a Picatinny rail and has 6 screws to hold the cap down and the scope securely to the rifle. This is a 11mm dovetail to Picatinny adapter, mainly for converting rimfire and air rifle to Picatinny. This is a Picatinny rail that screws directly to the top of the rifle's action. This particular one has 4 mounting screws, has a low profile. It is a good idea to gather all the tools required and have them all to hand for the fitting of the mount and the telescopic sight to the rifle. Shown here are the mounts. We're going to use the Buis Extreme Picatinny mounts. We have a 13mm ring spanner to tighten the mount to the Picatinny rail. We have a Torx screwdriver bit that attaches the top of the ring with the 6 screws. And next we have a spirit level got from the local hardware store, and we have checked that it is indeed level. This is the bolt action rifle that we're going to fit the scope to. 223 CZ varmint. The scope with the rings loosely attached to them is a Bushnell 6-24x50 4200 Elite tactical turrets. We have all our tools to hand. We have a Harris swivel type bipod attached to the front of the stock. It has a thumb screw to fix it in position, and we will be using this for keeping the rifle and scope level across its axis. The rail on this rifle is Picatinny. And we have a butt bag filled with sand. It's quite heavy, and we'll be using this to raise and lower the back butt of the rifle to level the rifle along the axis of the barrel. First of all, the scope is mounted to Picatinny rails. Quite loosely, just finger tight will do, and the rings, the top rings, are not done up tight so the scope can freely rotate but is not loose. What we first must do is find out the eye relief by moving the scope backwards and forwards while the rifle is held to our shoulder, until every time the scope is raised to the shoulder, the view is the same every time. We now remove the scope, trying to make sure we do not move it forward or backward in the mounts, and we're going to level the rifle up along its barrel axis, as I say, by using the sandbag. First of all, we get it fairly well level across the axis of the barrel. It's not quite perfect here, so we are going to move the sandbag along the butt of the rifle until we get the bubble perfectly between the lines. For the second part of the levelling of the rifle, we're first showing the rifle is level along the axis of the barrel, and now we are going to level the rifle across at 90 degrees to the axis of the barrel. Here we will use thumb screw on the bipod fixed to the front of the stock to keep the rifle from moving out of level. When we are happy with everything, we will proceed to put the scope back onto the rifle. You now see it's perfectly level in both axes. That is, along the barrel and across the barrel. We must be careful from this point on not to knock the rifle at all. So a nice steady hand is used. We remount the scope, pushing the scope forward as far as we can, gently, so that the rings are forward on the Picatinny rail. We use our 13mm ring spanner to gently tighten up the mounts to the Picatinny rail. We don't have to have them as tight as can be at this point. We just want to make sure the mounts are secure front and back and that we haven't the rifle out of level. With the level now put on the top turret cap, we can now adjust the scope so that it will be perfectly level. When we are happy, tighten up the screws gently, a little at a time. I'm actually just tightening up the centre screw, a little each side. Just enough to stop the scope from moving. And then gently tightening up the screws, first one side, then the other. Just a little at a time, just gently tighten them up, making sure that we're not moving the scope as we tighten up the top rings, making sure that it's level at all stages. There's no need to over tighten the screws as the threads are quite small, and it could be easy to strip the threads. We're finished now. We are at the range now, with firm benches to zero our rifle. Target boards are down at 50 metres, and because we will be using the rifle with the moderator on at all times, we fit the moderator for zeroing the rifle. Here we see the view of the target through the scope. To make sure that the crosshairs or the reticle of the scope are both at their centre points, we unscrew turrets all the way out until we reach a stop, and then see how many turns, watching the numbers on the turrets until it's turned all the way in, and then half that number, turn them out again. The first shot was taken, and as we can see, slightly to the left, and because of this we give a windage of 2 minutes or 8 clicks to the right and take another shot. Now we want to come back from our original place. We come back 2 clicks, take another shot, two clicks gave us 1/4 of an inch, so we come back another 2 clicks, two clicks at this range, 1/4 is correct. take our final shot, which is 1/4 of an inch high at 50 metres, will give us a little over at 100 metres, because the bullet is still rising, and this is what we want. If we needed to, we could adjust the elevation up and down, but we didn't have to this time.